Hello lads and lasses, welcome back to the channel. Today we have the review of the Newcastle Liverpool game that finished a little while ago now. I am soaking because I had a walk home, entirely different story. The bus delayed like night you've ever seen. Well, it was only half an hour. However, we walked home, pretty much got home by the time the bus would have gotten us home. So that's great, made the hour's walk home after an awful loss. 2-1. After 80 minutes, we were 1-0 up. After the 80th, into added time, 2-1 down. An absolute joke. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Before we do that, though, get us out of the way. Trying to do 200 subscribers before the end of the year. If you want to help me get there, go subscribe below. We're on 161. I'm not even bothered. We'll get into this review. So, the first half, we'll talk about the first half, because the first half was okay at best. It wasn't fantastic. It wasn't awful. We were very lucky to get that goal. I can't remember who passed it back to Matip, but he didn't get anywhere near the ball there, and Gordon was able to run onto the loose ball, and he scored. Very good. It was a decent goal. He stayed nice and composed. He was able to slot it away. 1-0 up, fantastic. Very early on, well, not very early on, but pretty early on, 1-0 up. Not long after that, Van Dijk, last man tackle on Isaac. I haven't seen any replays, but it definitely looked like he didn't get any of the ball. It looked like from where we were sitting, it could have been 50-50 on whether or not he got the ball, but he didn't. He got the man, so he was sent straight off. Get him out of there. Lovely stuff. Thought that would have helped. Bloody well didn't. Joe Gomez and Joel Matip played good for some reason. I'm so... Jurgen Klopp as well definitely should have had at least a yellow. He charged over to Eddie Howe and the assistant outside of his boxed area, to his technical area. I thought we were clamping down on that. I thought we were giving yellow cards for that sort of stuff. The man barely spent any time in his technical area. And there was no card. So we brought this rule in. We did it for like a week, and now we've sacked it off. It's pathetic. It is stupid. We bringing rules in that aren't even standard anymore. There's yellow cards, like in this game there was actually barely any yellow cards, which was surprising. Trent got a yellow card early. I think he potentially could have been sent off. Potentially. He was close to it. He played off the entire game because he couldn't put in a challenge just in case he got that second yellow, which, fair enough to him. Smart. That's what he should be doing. But I mean, he could have seen a second yellow before we scored, I think it was as well, or it might have been just after the sending off. No, it was before we scored. He could have seen a second yellow on a challenge to Gordon. So, I mean, they possibly should have been down to 9 men. Don't even think that would have made a difference. The first half, very okay. Gordon played well. He played all right for the entire game. Probably one of the only bright sparks in that side, apart from, I think Shaw and Botman had a pretty decent game again. The first Liverpool goal, I'm not even going to blame it on Botman all that much. He should have done better to get rid of that ball. But he's been unlucky to have that ball bounce around him. And Darwin Núñez scored. I mean, it was questionable. Should Dubravka have come out? Probably. He was thinking about it. He did it both times. The second time was a copy-paste of the exact same goal. And he scores again. Darwin Núñez. Oh my days. I'm so angry at the fact that we got to the 80th minute, 1-0 up. We're not Man City. We can't control the game like that. We can't sit with the ball at defence and play it out like that. We needed a second goal. I said, if we concede, if we don't score another goal, we'll draw it best. And after we scored, and I said to my brother and sister, we're going to lose this game. We didn't look up for it at all. Dan Burn, especially in that first half, looked awful. Don't know why he was starting, and I cannot wait to bring Lewis Hall into the starting 11. Any other left back. I mean, not Matt Targett. Matt Targett didn't look great in his small cameo he had after Botman got injured, and I'm praying, because I haven't seen anything on how bad the injury was, I am praying that he's not injured long term. Otherwise, we are not finishing in Europe. We're getting knocked out of the Champions League early. We're getting knocked out of every cup early, because we're not going to have the rotation. Dan Burn's going to be starting left centre-back. I would prefer him there. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's an awful centre-back. I don't think he's a good enough one to be playing Champions League week in, week out, though. Sven Botman is an unreal centre-back. One of our best defender. I would say our best defender. And I can't even joke around and say, oh, actually, Paul Dubbett's our best defender. I'm livid. I'm trying to be a little bit quiet, because it's 10:15. And you can't be too loud. But it's so stupid. The ref, after that red card, didn't give her another anything. Didn't give her anything after that. There was a point where Joe Gomez was practically groping Callum Wilson's boobs, took him to the ground, and Liverpool got the free kick. Now, how that one makes sense, I don't know. I'm not great when it comes to the rules of referees, but I'm pretty sure I would have gotten that one right. How can Joe Gomez drag a man to the ground and then you go, that's definitely a Liverpool free kick? How does that work? I'm not trying to say like Big Six bias or anything, because I do think that's a bit of a stretch. I do think Big Six bias is stupid, especially since it's now a Big Seven, because Newcastle had one good season. I can't even form words. It is honestly one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Don't even get me started on Miguel Almiron either. What on earth was that? He did two things in 99 minutes of football. 99 minutes of football. And he did two things. That shot from the corner was absolutely fantastic. Alisson's done great to save that. Twice. Almiron, very unlucky. He did a little dribble. Fantastic dribble. Got it onto his left foot. He was unlucky to hit the post. You can give him plaudits for that. The rest of the game, god-awful. One of the worst players on the pitch today, apart from those two incidents in 99 minutes of football. Anthony Gordon had spells throughout the entire match. And people saying, oh, well, you can't put Gordon out onto the right and bring Harvey Barnes into the left, because then we lose the press from Almiron. What does it matter if we're not going to attack on that side? And when we are going to attack, it leads to nothing, because all the man can do is use his left foot. Can we train him to use his right foot, maybe? Like, what is the reason he can't use his right foot? Is there any? No, there's not. I don't understand it. Use your right foot. He's so one-dimensional. All he does, left foot, he either cuts in or he passes to Trips or to Gnarly, and then they have to do something while Almiron makes a run. Sometimes the run's a good run and he probably should get the ball back. A lot of the time, there's no point in it. It is use your other foot. Cross the ball with your right foot. Gordon can use both feet. It's fantastic. He's a good player to use on that left-hand side, because he can use his right foot, because he's right-footed, but he can also put it across with his left. Almiron can only use his left foot. When he does use it, sometimes absolutely fantastic, as displayed in that in the corner he nearly scored from, and that little dribble. Apart from that, though, that left foot is absolutely nout. Nothing. 99 minutes of football. We need to change something. We've played 3 games. We destroyed Aston Villa, and I don't know how, because Aston Villa haven't been on a bad run of form after that. So Aston Villa looked like quite a decent team who could finish in Europe again. And we demolished them. City, we lost 1-0. Very lucky to lose 1-0. They are the best team in the world. I don't mind losing 1-0 to Manchester City, even without De Bruyne. Liverpool, we should have won that game. We should have scored more in the first half. We should have attacked in the second. We waited until it was 1-1, and then we decided to attack with 10 minutes left before added time. And then we went down again and did absolutely nothing with the ball. It was like watching us under Steve Bruce again. We're passing it around the back. Why? What for? We don't have the players to do that. And then the substitutes. Harvey Barnes comes on. Great. Who does he come on for? Oh, Anthony Gordon. Well, that's fantastic, isn't it? It's not like Almiron's had a worse game. Almiron didn't come off at all. How? How did Almiron stay on the pitch for that entire game? If we used Harvey Barnes and Gordon, I think we would have been better off. Or even bring Murphy on. Put Murphy on the wing. Where was Lewis Hall as well? I thought Lewis Hall was meant to be be a part of this game. Where was he? I would have much preferred Lewis Hall on that left-hand side than Dan Burn, because Dan Burn was god-awful. He was dragged out of position. Not always his fault, I understand that. Mo Salah, very good, dragging the player out of his position so they could play Trent over the top. That's fine. But the times he was trying to make tackles, he came from left back up to left wing, completely overrun the man so that he could just turn and they could just play. And they had all that space down the left-hand side. Now we lose Sven Botman, who's very good at covering Dan Burn when he does awfully. We could potentially be without that for a while. And we have to play Dan Burn in that centre-back role. And we don't have a right-sided centre-back. We have Shaw, who isn't fast. So we've got two slow centre-backs. And then we've got Matt Targett, or hopefully Lewis Hall, who won't need that much help, but then we're having to help both centre-backs. It's going to get stupid. Joe Linton, he didn't have an awful game, but he didn't have a great game. He had spells where he did well, which was alright. But overall, not fantastic. Bruno really does look like a shadow of himself. It is a shame to see. It looks like he's played so well last season. And we're expecting him to play like that every single game. It's unfair on him, but he's set himself that standard and he has to play up to that now. He can't dip against Liverpool. It's Liverpool. He didn't look fantastic against Aston Villa. But Tonali really made up for that. I think Tonali was really good today as well. And then he came off. We took Tonali off before Joe Linton. And we took Gordon off before Almiron, which is stupid to think of. I think Tonali should have played the rest of that game. Gordon should have played the rest of that game. Miggy should have came off. Dan Burn shouldn't have started. Sean Longstaff was awful when he came on. Joe Linton wasn't fantastic. Isak, I barely saw him that game as well. He didn't look great. Callum Wilson didn't look awful when he came on. He tried to shoot twice. Defender on him. The header was an interesting one. I think he's just gotten that one slightly wrong. I think his head's got there too early, and I think that's what's happened there. Still stupid. There's another one where he's trying to clip it over. He practically sends it for an extra point conversion, where he should lay it off, let someone else do something. But no, he takes the shot. Why does he take the shot? I know he's competing with Isak for a starting role, but you're not going to get that starting role when you're playing just as bad. It's so annoying. Let us check through me notes. I did make some notes. Yep, I've ticked them all off. Lovely. Yeah. Miggy and Burn cannot keep starting is a big note from me. Awful. Bring Lewis Hall in. Shift Gordon onto the right. Start Barnes on the left. It's as simple as that. That's it. That's it from me. You've got the BS review now. Now, Callum doesn't usually write a lot. This is what he wrote today. That's what he wrote. And he could have added more. He stopped himself from adding more. Abby is a little bit as usual. I haven't read any of it, so we're going to read it for the first time together. I'll try and calm down a bit. Okay, so Dan Burn, awful left-back performance. Way too reliant on others covering for his areas. Very true. He showed that coming up the pitch and not making a tackle, getting ran past. He did good a few times. I won't lie, he did good a few times. Getting back and tackling. But that was too not often enough. Way too little happening. Gordon was player of the match by an absolute mile. Had Trent's life the whole game. And I think what helped that was Trent's early yellow card, so he couldn't put in a tackle. And I was saying, actually, a few times in that second half, players were getting tackled by Trent and we could have just went aground. Like Rashford yesterday, he got ever so slightly touched. Penalty. Szoboszlai, was it the first game of the season, just goes on his tippy toes, gets a penalty. If we did that, we would have had a penalty. We might have not lost that game. We might have drew that game if it weren't for Darwin Núñez, who came on for like 10 minutes and absolutely changed that game. Their substitutes changed that game for the good. Our substitutes killed with in those last minutes. Decent performances from Botman and Tonali. And then the game changed once Tonali and Gordon were subbed off. Because Tonali is proven to be very, very good for us this season. I think he's going to have a fantastic season. I think Anderson should have started. We didn't get to see a lot of him because he came on so late. We didn't make substitutes until the 70th minute or something. And after that, 10-man Liverpool dominated were in a game we should have won because we decided to pass round the back. Stupid. Didn't attack enough, given extra man advantage. Alisson's super save in first half proved to be a crucial save that kept them in the game to earn this result. Couldn't agree more. Alisson was really good in that game. Nick Pope, he's a good goalkeeper. I do think there's times when he's iffy, and it's always against Liverpool. He got sent off last time, didn't he, at home? And in this game, he wasn't fantastic. It looks like... I'm not a goalkeeper. I've played five-a-side goalkeeper, but that's completely different, because that's just long. I'm not going to get lobbed. So if Nick Pope comes out of goal, he might get lobbed. Fair enough. Understandable. But he leaves himself in no man's land. The shots are coming in. I feel like he can dive a bit more. If anyone has any goalkeeping knowledge, proficiency, let us know on what you think of Nick Pope's decision making in these saves. Because I thought it was the same against City. He could have saved that goal, that Alvarez shot, that gave them that 1-0 lead. I think he could have saved that. So unless he's catching him just a little bit too late. That Darwin Núñez goal, those Darwin Núñez goals though, weren't catching him too late. He could see the player. Stupid. Right, where was I? Poor officiating of the new rules as always. How Klopp didn't get a booking at the very least is beyond me. Completely agree. One of my first videos was talking about the new rules that were being imposed in the Premier League, and it was on managers for leaving their box and charging up to other managers. That is one of the rules you can get booked for. Klopp didn't get booked, and it is crazy that that man can spout so much crap, like so many different stupid excuses, like, oh well, we probably lost because the chairs were temporary, or oh well, we got an early red card which spoiled the game and it shouldn't have been a red. Like, shut up, man. It's stupid. And then that man can charge down. He can come out of his technical area. He can charge down to the halfway line. He can spend 75, 80 minutes of that game outside of his technical area, and it's just fine. I mean, it's stupid. I mean, it's the same with us. We had, at one point, 3 people in our technical area. We had Jason Tyndall, Eddie Howe, and another coach. I can't remember what his name is. 3 people in our technical area, and it was fine. There should have been a yellow card offence. I'm going to be fair here. That should have also been a yellow card offence. Klopp should have had a yellow card offence. He should have been probably sent off for 2 yellow card offences. But because Klopp did it all the time before these rules were imposed, it's fine. Mental. One-dimensional play from Miggy. Unlucky that the dribble in the second half hit the post, but highlights our need for a 2-footed player on the right-hand side. Like Anthony Gordon. He can use his left. It would be great. We just need something different on that right-hand side. Because Miggy, as good as he is, not everyone's doubting how well he can play. Because he did so good at the start of last season. Everybody's clocked on. Everybody's realised that he's so one-dimensional. All they need to do is make him go down the right-hand side, and he can't do anything. Because he doesn't use his right foot at all. Work on it. Whew. Where am I? Yes. He also hopes that Botman's injury isn't a bad one, because then we're fluffed. Right, let's get on to the Sisters review. These are always good. Whole game was whack. I would disagree, but I get what she means. The Gordon goal was quite good. Mugged them off. Fair enough. Ref licks poo in his free time. I said he has fun time into a jam jar and then uses it to spread on toast. But I guess it's the same point. Miggy's near goal was a shame. He mugged everyone off with his dribbling. Yeah, but there was no end product, which was unlucky. It was outside the box, so I can let him off there. But the rest of the game, absolutely awful. Liverpool managed to go and suck one fatty. That's her entire review. Lovely stuff. Yep, that's that one. I'm going to go away, have a cup of tea. Yeah. I'm still so livid. It's... that game... Oh... I don't even know who we've got next. Who do we have next? I'll have a look at this. Right, anyways, there'll be a vlog up soon as well. I took some videos. Not a lot, but more than I did last time. So, if you want that, subscribe, turn those notifications on. Our next game is Brighton. Brighton away. 2nd of September? Yeah, that's Saturday, isn't it? Oh, I didn't care. I don't even care what it is. We're going to lose. I'll have my predictions out for that one. But if we go unchanged again, we're losing and we're not finishing in Europe this season. Because we don't have the facility to do that. We need to make a change. Lewis Hall needs to start. Miggy cannot keep starting. If we're starting Dan Burn, it needs to be at centre-back. Otherwise, what is the point? What is the point? I'd even have Livermento start at right back and Trips starting at left back. I'd even have that before I let Dan Burn step back on that pitch at left back. I like him as a player. I think he'd make a good centre back. He's shown that he can play well as a centre back. Apart from the second Darwin Núñez goal, I don't even know who was at fault for the second one. I couldn't tell if it was Target or Burn, because all I seen was him getting behind again and score again from the exact same thing. Lad, they were playing Gomez and Matip at the back. Gomez, and we didn't score a goal after that. All of them boondoggles. Boondoggle the lot of them. I've had enough. Right, I'll end it there before I cry. I've been going on for 20 minutes. So if you made it this far, you may as well subscribe. Yes. Vlog later. News, whatever. Sound. In a bit, pal. I've had enough. Going to bed, having a cup of tea, crying.